Hello, this is Joshua Cook with the Arc of Ohio, and today we're going to be talking about how the Arc of Ohio partners with families for Ohio shared living. So I'm going to go through 5 things that you need to know about shared living. Number 1 is the qualifications. When it comes to Ohio shared living, the individual must be on what's called the Individual Options Waiver, also known as the IO waiver. Secondly, the individual must be over the age of 18 to take part in Ohio shared living. Because it's called Ohio shared living, that means that the person providing supports must share the residence with the individual receiving the supports. When it comes to the Arc of Ohio and how we partner with families, we require that it be a family member. It can be a brother, a sister, a parent, a grandparent, but they must be related to the individual in order to take part in the Ohio shared living through the Arc of Ohio. The second thing to know about Ohio shared living is the way that it is billed. When you think of HPC, which is homemaker personal care, that's when an individual is provided with supports from someone outside of the home, from an agency or an independent provider that comes into the home and provides the support, but they don't live there. When it comes to the HPC, the homemaker personal care, one unit is 15 minutes of support. But Ohio shared living is a little bit differently. When it comes to the billing, it's one unit is 1 day. And so you end up with a daily billing rate, which means that any day that Ohio shared living is provided, it's 1 unit, but it's for the whole day. Additionally, when it comes to the DSP who would be providing the support to that individual, they're paid according to a daily rate as well. When it comes to the Arc of Ohio, we do this for a very low admin fee of 15%. And so what that means is we take the daily rate of what's billed to the waiver, we take 15%, that way we can run the program, and then the remaining 85% goes directly to the person providing the supports. The third thing to know about Ohio shared living is how other supports interact with it. The question is, because I do Ohio shared living and because it's a daily rate, does that mean that there aren't any other supports that can happen on that same day? And the answer is there's all kinds of things that can happen on the same day. Things like adult day services, like a day hab, voc rehab, respite, and even the ability to have a little bit of HBC on the same day as Ohio shared living is billed. And so just because there's Ohio shared living does not mean that everything else goes off the table. It can certainly work well with other supports that the individual may need. The fourth thing to know about Ohio shared living is how flexible it is. When we think of Ohio shared living and it's a daily rate, we sometimes think that we have to be with the individual 24/7, and that's just not the case. The individual is still able to be a part of adult day services like we said with the other supports on point 3, but that also means that while they're there and different times, even when they're not, you can still have a job, you can still have respite, you can still be apart from the individual for a certain amount of time and still be able to provide Ohio shared living. Sometimes families begin to have a lot of questions because they say, well, it's a daily rate, therefore I have to be with the individual all the time and never have a break or a vacation or a breather. Simply not the case. So there's a lot of flexibility there. If there's any questions at all, I encourage you to look at the Arc of Ohio and contact us, and we can certainly help resolve different questions, or we can kind of show different scenarios and show how flexible Ohio shared living really is. The fifth thing to know about Ohio shared living is that it's not for everyone, but it does help keep families together. We see this scenario happening because of the shortage of DSPs, where the family continually has to call off of their job because the DSP doesn't show up for work. So when that family member has to come home and not be able to work, they lose their job, Ohio shared living becomes a valuable option for that family. There are situations where Ohio shared living fits like a glove and does wonders for a family and helps in a very difficult situation, but there's some times where it just doesn't work and it's not feasible. If you have any other questions about Ohio shared living, or if you want to see that if it is for you, if it'll work in your situation, I encourage you to contact the Arc of Ohio. You can reach us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Arc of Ohio, or you can also give us a call at 614-487-4720.